Okay, so now that we have our main content on our presentation, we now need to move forward and add some interest to the content that's there. So the first thing I want to look at is creating movement. There are two types of movement that you can do within Google Slides. The first type is called transitions, which is movement in between the slides. I'm sure you're familiar with that, but that's movement in between the slides. And then the other one is animation, which is movement on the slide. So we're going to start with animation. I'm going to go ahead and click just inside where I have my primary text. And from there, I'm going to go up to insert and then animation. Insert animation. And when I do that over here on the side, you're going to see that I have my motion dialog box pop over. I can apply my transitions there. We'll come back to that. But I have my object animation. So right now, by default, it's going to be faded in on click. And I like to keep all of my animations controlled by me clicking through the mouse. You can have it set up to where down here, it automatically comes in after or with your previous slides. But when you're giving an effective presentation, most likely you're going to want to talk in between your bullet points and kind of fill in information with your verbal presentation. So you don't want your presentation to just keep going without you. So clicking, I think, is the best way to go. Now, if you don't want it to fade in, when you drop down here, there are other multiple different styles of animation. You can fade out to the right, out to the bottom, fly in, appear, disappear, spin, so on and so forth. But when you go in and do that, you're going to want to make sure it really enhances your presentation and it's not there just to be silly. So looking at this, I have this applied. When I click play, it allows me to preview that animation. And you can see that, voila, those three faded in. Now, something else that I can do, though, is I'm going to stop that preview, is I also can go in and have each one of these bullet points come in one at a time if I wanted to discuss them individually. And the way that I alter that is by clicking the by paragraph. So the word paragraph, when you're thinking about Google Slides, is really basically saying each individual bullet point. So when I do that, and actually just so that we can see something different, I'm going to change this to fly in from the top. We had it fade in. Now I'm just wanting you to see a different one. By paragraph, click play. This is just a preview, that play. And then fly, fly, fly. The three individual ones come in based on their level in that paragraph. So that's the difference between those two things. Okay, so the next thing that we will add on for animation is to add an additional animation on the same slide. So in this slide, obviously, we have just animated this little paragraph. We can see that when we look at our motion editor that we have the paragraph, like little picture or preview of what's being animated. So now, though, I want to click and animate the image that I added to this slide so that I have two parts of animation on the same slide. To do that, I'm going to click this button that says Add Animation. Now, when I animate that, I can go in and make the same choices that I made before. I can choose to change it from fade in to something else, which I'm going to choose spin. I'm going to leave it on click. And then I want to show you that you can control how quickly that animation takes place. This is called changing the duration or the speed of the animation. So you can have it be anywhere as slow as 4 seconds long, all the way up to a portion of 1 second. So now when I go play that animation, I can click to have each one of my paragraphs come in and discuss them as I'm presenting. And then I have a spin at a relatively fast pace with my picture. So after that, I want you guys to go in now and work on animating each of your slides. I would like you to have a variety that you apply for your types of animation for sure. And then once you finish and have a variety of types of animation, I'm going to go in and add transitions. So for transitions, that's going to be, again, the movement between the slides. I close out of my motion editor so that you can see that the way that you get to that in the first place is to go to slide, which is your menu item up here, and then down to transition. Once you choose transition over here on the right-hand side, you can choose if you want your transition to be sliding from the right, sliding from the left, flipping, cube, etc. And then also, just like with your other animations, you're able to go in and choose how quickly that happens. Now, one more thing that you can do right here, and you should do, is apply to all the slides. It really is not necessary to have a transition that is different in between each one of the slides. So I'm going to choose apply to all slides. I'll play that so you can see. Oh, I played it a little too quickly. We'll do it one more time. There we go. All right, so now please go ahead and apply those transitions and animations to your slides.